Joining us on the Tuesday edition of TVC Breakfast. I'm Veronica Dan Ikboy. I'm not here alone. I have Mike Okwache. Mike, it's a good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's a good Tuesday morning. One way or the other, we're still hearing sounds of reactions from issues of the naira, issues of fuel, and all of that.
Yeah, but it may not be good for some persons this morning. Looking at the cases, the judgment ruled by the
Supreme Court.
Affirming Ahmed Lawan as the APC senatorial candidate for the party. And it's been raising divergent reactions, Mike. Recall that leading up to this time, an appeal court had, affirmed the candidacy of Machina. And his name was, I think, it was not on when INEC brought out the list initially, because we looked, I recall we had that conversation that time where we talked about the fact that Ahmed Lawan had dumped his ambition at the time to contest for the presidency. He went for the primaries, but lost to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And all of a sudden, there was back and forth with regards to, he's here, he's not here, and all. But we recall what, the Electoral Act had said. And now the Supreme Court is affirming...
The almighty Supreme Court.
...that he is the candidate of the APC. And... all the technicalities that the Supreme Court has said was not properly done, these, that. And we also recall that INEC, the second primaries that was said to have been done, the INEC was not represented there. So how the Supreme Court came to this point is still something one is wondering.
Well, anyway. The point there is, talking about the Supreme Court is like talking about God, in the eyes of the hierarchy. So the Supreme Court, in their own wisdom, have made their decision, looked at the case, the approach, the technicalities, and all of that. Of course, the substance of it is on one hand, but the technicality of it is on the other hand. Now, the Nigerians are reacting to this. In fact, this morning, if you go on social media, a lot of people are reacting to it on the radio and so on. People are calling in to react to it. But justice has been done because the Supreme Court...
It's nothing to be done because the side of Machina now is like daylight robbery.
No, of course. The point there is that, we always talk about justice being done and justice seen to have been done.
Yeah.
This one, justice has been done because the court has ruled. And moreover, the Supreme Court, for that matter, has ruled. There's nothing anybody is going to do about it except taking it to God in prayer. And on the other hand, we've seen cases in parts of the world where the Supreme Court might come back to say, okay, we are revisiting this issue. But, well, until they do so. But the fact there now is that they have finalized this case and justice has been done. Is it seen to have been done? It's totally a different thing. Because as it is, the substance of the case, the evidences of the case, all of them put together tells that justice may not be seen to have been done. But on the issue of technical grounds, the way the court was approached and all of that, all these things are issues also in the procedure of law. So, of course, who am I? I'm not a learned person. So
You're not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer. So, but the point there is, when these are the things that, we see as democracy, when we're talking about democracy, it is the issue of justice, the issue of fairness, it is the issue of people feeling satisfied that, yes, this process, this thing is done the way it's supposed to be done, and all of that. So in the minds of a lot of people, is this entrenching, is this deepening our democracy? Well, everything cannot be every way we want it at every time. Even anyone who goes into election, it is either you win or it is either you lose.
The issue is, this is setting, for some persons, this is setting a dangerous precedence because we have the Electoral Act that has come out plainly to say what it should be. Yeah. But then it's seeming that the court is going in a different direction as it stands. So then another question that has been asked, where lies the hope of the common man where we say justice?
The court is still the hope of the common man.
As it stands, it doesn't seem like it.
The issue there is, it is quite difficult. It's like a very difficult pill to swallow.
Of course.
Right? But the point there is that one way or the other, we have to swallow it that way. It is sad from the outcome of the judgment. It is sad, but there's nothing anybody can do about it. If there were a way where
if it was at the level of the appeal court,
exactly,
yes,
could appeal, fine, they could appeal it. Yeah. Now, somebody was even saying, well, you can take it to the West African...
at what time?
Whatever. But the point there is, the West African court does not have...
the jurisdiction?
No, even if it has jurisdiction, because it covers West Africa, but the Supreme Court doesn't answer to it.
Right.
The Supreme Court is the final arbiter in law in Nigeria. So the court in West Africa may only, be a persuasive approach to issues that happen within the domestic jurisdiction of a country. If the country feels they will. If they don't feel they will not. Because there are issues that concern Nigeria in its own domestic affairs. It's a domestic affair of Nigeria. It has nothing to do with Nigeria, between Nigeria and Chad, or between Nigeria and Niger, or between Nigeria and
it's a domestic
whatever
matter.
It's a domestic matter. So the issue there is that the Supreme Court, whatever the Supreme Court of Nigeria says, is totally final.
It's final.
So we may not all like it. We may not all understand it. We are not all learned people. Some of us are not learned. So we may not all understand it. But that's what they came up with. So we have to take it like that.
So Machina and his people have to swallow the bitter pill as it stands.
Yeah.